Question 1. What ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Before drawing out the storyboard for our horror film, we researched the different codes and conventions of horror films. This then helped us a great deal when thinking about the sound, editing, camera shots, and mise-en-scene that would go into our film, as we had a better understanding of what other successful horror films included. The thriller convention is immediately established in the very first shot of our film, which is an old, eerie-looking house set in the middle of nowhere without any surroundings, apart from the bare fields. This scary, ancient-looking house is a typical sort of setting for a horror film. The mysterious music that goes along with this shot is also something that is popular in the horror genre, as it builds up suspense and tension in the viewer's mind. We also use voyeurism in our film, which is an idea that we got from one of Hitchcock's most famous horror films, Psycho. Voyeurism is where a particular character is being watched upon by another character, and you see through the person's eyes that are watching them from their point of view. This technique makes the audience feel uneasy with the situation, adding to the scary thriller effect. In our film, we have two parts of the film that are filmed so that the shots look like you're in the position of the villain, who is holding a video camera spying on the little girl. So from the audience's point of view, we see all the marks and letters on the screen of the video camera, and obviously the little girl through the lens. This isn't just a standard point of view, we have taken it that extra step further to make our audience feel really uneasy and to emphasise the scariness. A typical character that is used in horror films is ghosts. Therefore, we decided to use a ghost in our horror film. We chose to use the ghost as the villain because it brings a feeling of unpredictableness to the audience, as they can't see the ghost, making it have a hidden identity. It's the unseen villain. You never know when it will appear. Our film challenges conventions by having all of it filmed in broad daylight. Typically, in a horror film, there would usually be scenes of darkness, where nothing is really to be seen that well, which adds to the unknown and spooky effect. We decided not to include this convention in our film, but I think we still achieved this. Question 2. How does your media product represent particular social groups? Our media product mainly represents young, sweet and innocent girls, ranging from 8 to 10 years old, that are an easy target for evil personalities. We made our main character, who is an 8-year-old girl, look very girly by having her wear a floral patterned knee-length dress. We decided to have her wear knee-high socks with the dress. We thought of this because we would usually associate knee-length socks with something a schoolgirl might wear within their school uniform. This would let the audience think that perhaps she goes to school, and this would let them guess her age. We also thought of putting the knee-high socks with the dress as we didn't want too much skin to be revealed, as we thought 8-year-old girls don't go about wearing short dresses and bare legs. Their mums would make sure they dress appropriately. And also this could be uncomfortable for viewers to watch. We had her wear plimp soles as shoes, which could represent her sporty active side to her personality, implying she's fit and healthy. Also, we put a plait in her hair, as this is a hairstyle you would usually associate with this sort of age group, so this gave the audience a clue as to what sort of age she is. The plaited hair added to the sweet and innocent look we were trying to create. This was to engage our audience and make them take a liking to the cute look of this little girl. This overall look of the little girl gave an indication to the audience of the social groups that our film represents. Question 3. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? I think that our film would definitely be mainstream. Mainstream films are usually made by major entertainment studios or companies, such as DreamWorks, 20th Century Fox, and Paramount Pictures. Because of better financing, these films can afford more expensive actors, wide releases, and are sold at popular retail stores. Therefore, we have decided that mainstream would be better for our film, as it is more global and well known than an art house film, and our film has quite a large mixed audience. When researching different production companies, we came across Hammer Film Productions. We decided to use this company as our distributor, as it has produced similar genre films to ours, such as The Resident and Let Me In, and have been extremely victorious in doing so. Accordingly, they are now very experienced in making films of a similar style to mine, and are also well known for producing films of a high quality. Therefore, they would make a good choice of film distributor. My media product could be released and then circulate worldwide, which then means that a large audience can consume it, and as a result, a high number of sales will be made, resulting in maximum profit. After my film has been released at cinemas, it would be released on DVD in order for the audience and consumers of the product to buy it. This is a typical move of other media products of similar style. Question 4. Who would be the audience of your media product? After researching the BBFC, British Board of Film Classification, and then watching our final piece of our horror opening, we came to the decision that our film is aimed at a 15+ audience, as this is the certificate rating it fits into. My results from the audience research that I carried out showed that our type of film appeals more to the late teen ages, 15 to 18-year-olds. Reasonings for this is that the type of characters we have in our films, e.g. a ghost and a little girl, are the type of conventions that they find the most haunting in a horror film, and they would enjoy watching this sort of movie. This teenage age group would be a good way of getting free advertisement, as most teenagers are associated with social networking sites, such as Facebook and Twitter. We could also use these sites to upload and post advertisements of our films on a regular basis. On Facebook, you can upload as many videos and photos that you want, and it's pretty straightforward. So uploading our trailer or our film posters on a regular basis would bring us a wider audience. We could also set up some sort of comment page, which would allow our audience to comment with their feedback after watching the film, costing us nothing and gaining us a much wider audience. We also thought that families could be quite a big audience for our film, as the narrative of our film includes a mother and daughter relationship, making it a family-based film. Families, or even more specific, single mothers, as that is what the mother is in our film, could relate to the situation she is in and find the storyline engaging. We also came to a decision that the most likely gender to watch our film would be females, as the two main characters in the film are females. Therefore, our film could interest people of the same gender as them. Question 5. How did you address your audience? Within the film, we used a number of techniques to engage the audience. This mainly consists of things like the spooky, eerie soundtrack that plays all the way through the opening, fast jump cuts from some scenes to others, slow motion effects, loud bang effects, and many more. Part of our film that I feel worked really successful is the part where the young girl is sitting in her room talking to her ghost friend, which we can't see. It is filmed through a window showing the bars which run through the panels of the windows. This implies a sense of claustrophobia for the audience. They feel as if they are sneakily spying on this little girl through some bars, implying the little girl is trapped. The camera then zooms even further up to the young girl, who is talking, making the audience feel extremely up close and personal with the girl, putting them in an uneasy and uncomfortable situation. This barred effect has also been used in many of Hitchcock's films. It is a popular technique in horror films. The low-key, spooky music that is going along with this scene builds up the tense feeling that the audience are feeling at this point. Usually in horror films that include ghosts, the ghost is immediately portrayed as some sort of villain and acts in an evil way towards an innocent character. However, in our film, the ghost is set out as a friendly ghost and starts off being nice and kind towards the young girl. This could lose the audience's attention or perhaps make them a little bored, as it isn't really something that would usually fit a horror storyline. But when the ghost turns evil towards the end of our opening scene, the audience are engaged, as it is unexpected and excites them for what else is to come within the film. The storyline to our film includes a mother and daughter moving house, and then in this village that they move to, the young girl makes a friend that is a ghost, who then turns evil and possesses the young girl. Some people that are watching the film could relate to this storyline. For example, they could have recently moved house or were planning on moving house, and so the storyline could affect them, as they might think that what's happening in the film might happen to them because they're in the same situation. Moving house is something families do, so this will engage them and leave them feeling haunted and spooked, which is the feeling we are trying to create for our audience. Question 6. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? Before filming and editing our footage for our opening sequence, we had an hour's masterclass on how to use Apple Mac Pro Final Cut. This was something new to most of us in the class. We were given a booklet containing lots of points on how to use Final Cut, which came in very handy. After we had our footage, we went into the Mac rooms and thought in our spare time and in some of our media lessons and began to bring our film together by using this program to edit it. The thing we found most tricky with using Final Cut was actually getting everything into the right order and cutting it into the right places, so it made sense to our audience. We had to get used to using different tools in the program and understanding what they did. At some points when we were editing, we did take risks, just to see what different tools would do, even though we didn't fully understand what we were clicking on. This sometimes benefited our film, and we decided to keep some of these aspects. Others didn't really fit in, therefore we clicked undo to remove what we had just done. I found using Final Cut a very challenging process, but after we had finished editing, I felt a good sense of achievement and I had learned something new, which wasn't exactly easy. Another thing that I have learned about technologies from this process is that when using video cameras, they must be fully charged before going out to film footage. We realised this from our preliminary task when we got to our destination, that the camera unfortunately didn't have enough charge, so we had to reschedule a filming date. We took this on board when planning our filming schedule for our main task, and made sure that our camera was fully charged before going out to film the footage. Question 7. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product? I feel that throughout the progression from our preliminary task to our main task, I have learned how important planning and research is. Without sitting down and fully planning out a filming schedule that includes where we are filming, what day and what time, etc., we wouldn't have been able to be as organised as we were. The research also helps us a lot, such as researching the codes and conventions of horror films helps us think of ideas of what to include in our sequence. Researching other horror films opening and analysing these thoroughly also helped us come up with these ideas and help us recognise what other successful horror films included. Researching different production companies helped us make a decision what type of company would distribute our film, and also recognising if our film is mainstream or art house.